winter camping and some things you need to know. Alright, so today we are going to talk about a little bit about winter camping. Make sure you stick around to the end because I have that free pre-trip checklist I talk about, as well as take a minute right now to hit that subscribe button. But anyways, let's just get right to it. If you are going to be doing some winter camping, there's some things you need to consider, especially if you haven't even purchased your RV yet. So some questions to ask would be, is your tanks insulated? Now, it's really 50-50 on this. I would say actually more often than not, they are not winterized or set up to be used in the winter. The tanks are exposed and they will freeze in the wintertime. There are some chemicals and stuff you can add to it to help with that situation, but you're much better off if you plan on doing a lot of winter camping, getting a camper or travel trailer that has a insulated underbelly and heat that is getting to your tanks, so this is not a problem. With that said, again, these are not houses. They are not designed fully insulated and really thick and like your house would be. So you have to make sure you're prepared for the situation that you may end up in. One thing I definitely recommend is getting a buddy heater. These things are fantastic. They'll warm you up inside and take care of a lot of things. And I'll put a link for that in the description as well for a buddy heater that you can swing over to Amazon for. So that's just a couple things. But there's lots of other things to consider as well. One thing would be, are you going to be at a campground? If you're at a campground with unlimited power and things like that, then of course it's much easier to keep your unit warm. But lots of campgrounds shut down in the winter, especially here up north in Maine. In these areas, we don't really have any campgrounds left open this time of year in the winter. So that's something to consider. There are some, in cold climates that are open that you can get to and plug in and take care of things like that. But if you plan on doing boondocking, which a lot of people do, especially if they're full-time RVing, then you need to really have a good idea of what the weather's going to be, what your camper can hold, how much you can tolerate. Do you have pets? Things like this all come into play. I would definitely recommend not leaving your RV for extended times in these type of climate conditions, especially if you're using any type of heater. Don't leave any of those things unattended. If you are using your furnace in a cold situation while boondocking, keep in mind these things drain your power supply quite quickly. So, another thing you have to think about is, what is your power bank, your battery bank? How much power backup do you have that you can maintain the heat in this unit until it warms back up either the next day or later on? Or are you just buying propane on a regular basis to keep it going that way? With a buddy heater or something like that. The bottom line is, if you don't already have an RV or travel trailer, there are some questions you need to ask to make sure that you know that this camper can handle cold climates to some extent. Lots of them have a different type of insulation in them that is designed for colder weather, because they're all insulated to some extent for the most part, but some are better insulated than others. So do your research. Find out where you plan on being on a regular basis, what the conditions are going to be, and make sure you have a backup plan. Don't leave yourself in a situation where things are going to get super cold, super fast, and you don't have a plan to get out of that situation, and then you could end up with a lot of problems with frozen things and tanks that you can't get water, and this could damage some of the equipment in your camper. It could damage your water pump. A lot of the units now are using PEX piping and stuff like that can handle a freeze to some extent, but it's never guaranteed. And if you end up with split pipes, you're going to end up costing yourself, potentially thousands of dollars worth of repair because you weren't prepared ahead of time. So make sure you think about these things, you have the information you need, and you're prepared for the situation that you plan on being in. Now, one of the things you can do ahead of time before you head out camping is get my pre-trip checklist and free ebook. And that's just going to give you some tools to make sure your trailer is ready to hit the road. Nothing really to do with winter camping, but before you go out, you want to make sure you're ready to hit the road too, so you don't end up with a situation, something simple goes wrong, that you're not prepared. You can get that right down here in the description. Also, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe. Come back often, we're releasing videos all the time, and we don't want you to miss out, we want to help you out. So again, get that ebook, get that buddy heater, and have a great day, and happy camping.